Hello and welcome. I'm Bill Wake. We're here working on a program in Swift that's designed to find the similarity of musical tunes, and we've added a number of reports and so on, and we've got the processing pipeline coming along pretty well. But I want to take a break and do more refactoring on the views. We've had this notion of the pipeline, that you can set up filters and quantizer and so on to process the songs, but there's some limitations in how we set up the views that I want to try and work around. The problem is that each pipeline stage is very specific. So a quantizer says, I need to know, am I looking for quarter notes or half notes or eighth notes or what? The filter says, I want to know which field I want to filter on, and everybody's got their own ideas. And so I can't just make a generic view that covers all that, I don't think. But we're going to see what we can do. And even if that turns out not to go anywhere, we've still got the views they need refactoring a little bit. I think there's similarities we can pull out and ways to reorganize them a bit. So we're going to spend a little time on the back end of things. Oh, I have a note though first. Let's see. Let me run this. I guess it's a new week. I should be running it in any case just to get it up to speed. All right, the one I'm thinking of is, the filter. So this thing, you open a file, and we'll take this example one we've got. We can filter based on various aspects of it. In our case, we know the tune we're working with. This is Noskalan or Noskalan. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it, but there's 39 tunes in here, but we don't have all that many that are named the same. So if we filter on title, and then let's take the statistics, we'll find out how many there are. Okay, well, there's 8 tunes with that name, and here are the variations of the title that we can find. So some have accents, some have words in them. All right. Another thing we can do is quantize. So quantize by quarter notes, and we can get the average melody of these things. So Noskalan is basically Deck the Halls. Da 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 da. Okay. And you can sort of see that in this melody average that's showing you the most common note in each one. So most of these versions start on the 6th note of the scale, or sorry, the 5th note of the scale, and work their way down to the 1st note. Okay. There is a version out there that probably the same one. It looks like it's just doing it an octave higher. Interesting. Okay, that may be, we may have not, I don't know if that's an artifact of the song itself, or if we've just not maybe handled every command around octaves or something. But even the one up there looks kind of like the same shape, just higher for the most part. Not always. Okay. All right. Now, the only little minor thing I saw was I found an icon I like better for filter. So we're going to switch over to that before I jump into this other stuff. So filter, I think it's filter stage probably. Okay, arrow, triangle, dot down. I don't know if I have a test for this or not, but I wanted to try line.3.horizontal.decreasing. See if I like that better. There is no funnel. Oh, well, apparently there's no line.3. Horizontal. Maybe it's line 3. If this doesn't work, I'll go look. Okay. And these are all the predefined icons. Line.3.horizontal. Well, that sure... Oh, decrease. Yeah. shouldn't guess the ending. I should check the ending. In only 4 tries, I've successfully changed this string. I think so. Yeah, I think that's better. Okay, let's make sure tests are green. I think sometimes I check these constant names, and most of the time I don't. Okay. All right, so change filter icon. Yeah, I was really looking for a funnel or maybe a leaky faucet. I don't know. something to represent that notion. Funnel is so commonly used, I can't believe they don't have it in there, frankly. All right. So now let's close these other tabs. Let's open content view. Okay. So what I have, and I dislike, but it's what we got. All right, let's just walk through the top. So we have content views. These state objects basically represent all the different possible stages. So we had a manual input or file input. We have a filter, a quantizer, parsons code, statistics, average. Each one of those corresponds to one of those lines we added in the pipeline. And then from there, I think I could be pulling out, like this function could be a whole separate class. But notice there's the pipeline it stacks them up, and basically it just checks, is each one active? If so, I'm going to feed through the right subview. Okay, and I don't know. All right, but that's a real thing. But notice it has to have access to every single source, which are these stages. Like I really just want to create something that's tie. I need to somehow tie from the stage to the actual view. Okay, and then that's that one. Now here's the body pipeline selectors. Well, it has to have access to every single stage. It's so annoying. Okay, because I can't. I don't know. See what I do somewhere we have a list of the pipeline. Yeah. Okay, so this is well, the pipeline has a list of things it can use. So we go from sources, transforms, and sinks. All right. So you basically, these are select ones, these are select as many as you want, and these are select ones. You probably could allow multiple. But we don't. Okay. And so the pipeline, this represents the pipelines we could build. Let's go see it. Okay. And then we maintain, well, do we? We may have gotten rid of it. Oh yeah, active. Where are the active source? Okay, so we just run through and pull out the ones that are active. Okay, that's a little unfortunate, but it's I would just as soon have them be active because they're in a list somewhere, but that's not quite the way it works. We did that at some point and we pulled it out because it just wasn't integrating with the views very well, but I want to take another try. I would like is, these are the possible sources, transforms, and sinks, but I would like to have a list of the active sources, the active source, the active transforms, the active sink. And process that from that, not from the list of all of them filtered by is active. I really would rather my stages not know that they're active. It's not really their problem. Okay. If somebody gives them something to process, they should process it. Okay. But I like this part. This algorithm came out nicely. We take the active source, we create the packet, which is kind of the input, and then we run through each transform and basically reduces, take this as input and produce something as output. Well, it produces a packet. So it feeds the stages through to each other. And then in the end, it makes the sink consume it. All right. And that to me is the essence of what a pipeline should be. The fact that it's not the whole method is a little bit annoying to me. Okay, but let's see, go back to content view. We're going to keep this one open. Okay, so pipeline, this object that whole body knows, really is responsible for all that. Now, why can I not, like maybe could I pass, I wonder if I could pass the pipeline to this. What I think I'm going to end up with, the experiment I want to do, I kind of want to do something. I want to say I give you a pipeline, and it knows it's got the active stages. Let's not worry about the, should it be a separate little active source, active transforms thing. We've got a pipeline. It knows all these values. Okay. Every single one of them is in the pipeline that we're passing over there, but we can't tell. We can't just look at it and know, oh, it's a file input, but we can really, because each of these is unique, and we can do a typecast if we need to, which I don't really normally approve of. I mean, usually it means there's something else wrong, and maybe that's the case, and somebody more clever than me could figure out how to make it work. But we tried several ways last time, and here I am again. Or not last time, but over the process of however many weeks we've been doing this. Okay. But if pipeline has all this information, it doesn't know the order. I mean, I'll grant that. But if I gave you a pipeline, I think you could do this. And I think honestly you could do it in the order it says. Okay, so this chunk from here to here, that's all values in the pipeline. Okay. And these constraints, I almost could put them in the pipeline too. I mean, they are enforcing if one turns on, the other turns off. Okay, because you can only select one input source at a time and one output sink at a time. All right, now, what's the right order to change all this? That's often the challenge we have. Okay, but I can imagine walking through the sources and saying, if you're a file input, let's go up to pipeline selectors. And that's a separate object. Okay. This is forming the icons on the left. And I think, well, it's saving them all. But we got the pipeline. We have the information. Bar minus the constraints. All right. But we take icon and then this. I mean, it could be, can we make a loop out of this? I don't think it's wrong to ask for inputs and transforms and outputs. Well, let's see what we can do. Okay. So how do I make this go? Well, I'm going to somehow iterate over something with an index, can I iterate over that? Well, I'm the one who wants it, so I think I can. All right, so let's just try it for each. Now, these stages, let's go look at them. A stage is a source, and a source is the actual stage. The overall stage is stage, and he is identifiable. So if we loop over them somehow, we can put them in a for each without too much trouble. Okay, so for each pipeline dot sources. Well, that's promising. They're identifiable, so that's okay. We're going to do something. What are we going to do? Well, we're going to try and do something like this. I don't know what that 0 index does. Index. He saves it. Selection equals index. Oh, if the constraint allows it. Or no, we tell the constraint, I'm selecting this one. Okay, so this is dealing with if there's a constraint, meaning it's a one of n selector, like inputs or outputs, then we use the constraint. If there's no constraint, then we just toggle it. I think that could be better too. But wait, oh, index. We need to know which one to toggle. That's why. Okay. Right. So where's my for each? Okay, icon source. Oh, you can't do it. Why? No, for each should be okay with that. Any source cannot conform to identifiable. That is really annoying. This is where I get balled up. Okay, we just showed. Let's see, I'm taking these out these days. Stage is in fact identifiable. So why is any stage not identifiable? That's this fundamental flaw. I just don't get around. So I can't iterate over the sources. Now, cannot conform to identifiable. That really seems wrong. Let's see, where's pipeline? Any source. Well, he is any source. Yes, he is. Could I... Okay, let's try an experiment. Set var, I'll just say the sources, and this is an array of, it should be stage, I think. I mean, everybody's a stage. Do I have to say any here? If I can get it past the any. Oh. Oh, why? Okay. And I'll try the stages, but I don't think it's going to work any better. Or the sources. Now it's any stage it complains about. Why is that? Okay, let's do some research. I may have to just defer that question, but okay. So Swift, any value doesn't conform to its type. I don't know how to say this in a way that's going to get me anything. How to compare any value types. Takes a type parameter and then compares the values. Like this by using a hashable. Oh, so weird. I don't quite know here. Any equals 1. Well, that's different. Okay. I'm looking for things that conform. Yeah, that's... Okay, I think I'm going to try quoting any type. Well, one could read optional type doesn't conform to protocol values. Well, these guys sometimes help. Okay, types. Let's look for any. Can I click this and go there? The any type contains variables of all other types. Yeah, we don't want the true any. We want, what do we call those? There's a word for it. It's not conformant types. It's opaque types, but any's are not opaque. They are... Okay, conforms to a protocol without specifying the underlying concrete type. That's what we want. Appears the return type. Okay. Have to form some type. Or protocol. Okay. Value. Protocols can't include opaque types. That's too bad. Classes can't use an opaque type as a return type. Okay. Functions. Let's look for any type. No. Alright, I'll try any again. That is not the one we're after. Let's make sure the next thing is not the same. Okay. it really sucks when a keyword is so generic of a word. Yeah, we wrapped around. Okay, that didn't help. Okay, returning an opaque type. Some shape, yep. I don't think this is the right any. Yeah. Okay, so I think what we're saying is some, how about opaque type stored in array. And let's make sure that we know this is Swift. Well, that's not really what we want. Ooh, something new. Maybe this will help. Okay, he's got some. I think it's kind of the same article, yeah. I guess I want to look for bracket any. Okay. Yeah, this is kind of what I'm after. Not really the answer I'm looking for. Okay, let's try our search a little more. Swift opaque type stored in an array. It's funny, I couldn't find any use of the lowercase any in those. Well, let's try it that way. What is the any keyword? Swift. Okay, that's Swift 5.7. That's promising, because I know this is not a totally new thing. I know these sound like the same. This site's pretty good. Existential types, yes, that's what it is. Whew. To a performance impact. Okay, I don't mind that. I only have 5-10 stages, right? So it's not going to be a big deal. Any type conforming to protocol X. Okay, we got the content protocol ID and URL. Image content is the content. And content is any content equals image content. Identifiable word equals UID. Okay, sure. Change some to anyone. You don't need to store arbitrary values. Right. I mean, I don't think I need some in this case. The deal with some is, and this is how views work basically in Swift. You say it's some view, and the compiler knows it can treat this thing as a view. But the other thing it knows is it keeps track of the actual type. And so if your thing is a VStack containing an HStack containing a text containing this, it knows that the type is, vstack.hstack.text or something. Okay, it knows that all those pieces are there. And most of the time it can ignore it and just treat it as a view and say, give me the body. But in some cases it can use the actual contents or the structure of the thing. But we're passing stuff that we don't really care. We want to conform to the protocol, but we don't really need anything beyond that. Okay, value of existentials. Remote image vector. Okay, they're hiding the type name. Okay, I can buy that. Right, we're doing that sort of thing. So it can't predict the exact type, but it knows it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to pay a little bit. That's fine. Performance impact is... Okay, but it doesn't get me from... This article's close to giving me what I want to know, but it's just not quite there. I've seen that message before. Okay. Be referenced directly. Okay, add the slum keyword. Yeah. Yeah, now unfortunately it requires me to put the any keyword in. Let's see, I think that's what they said, right? In stage, no, in pipeline. I have to put this any in, even though I don't see how they're not stages. It must be written as any stage. I wish they had told me why. Okay, let's use the protocol as a stage. I got that wording wrong. Use the protocol as a type must be written any. Oh, thank you. Oh, too bad. Right. Thank you for your help. I mean, the compiler told him that. Come on. I guess this one just disappeared 3 days ago. Oh, voluntarily removed. None of these really match that. Someone probably gave him a snarky answer. Can only be used. Protocol. Research protocol. Okay, we're getting a little far away from Swift. Okay, but maybe if I search for Swift existential type. Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the correct answer. Protocols with associated types, which can't be used as existentials. I don't think I'm getting anywhere with protocol. This protocol with associated type, though, I definitely have heard that phrase before. I guess today is like redocumentation day, isn't it? Okay, we've seen that. I don't know. Swift's getting a little heavy on the type stuff with this, and it feels like there's starting to become lots of ways to do it, but yet they're not complete. You know, it's just okay. Right. They're sort of like generics. Maybe I'm wrong for thinking so. Okay, store items in an array. Yeah, we're not doing anything weird about it. I guess why I don't love it, it's like I don't get enough why a generic doesn't work. Um, I don't know. It seems to act like a generic. I could understand a protocol of a generic and then just uses the type, but we seem to have another keyword and another idea going on. Right, because it knows, it infers it. That's fine. Okay. I think associated types are a bit of a red herring here. Okay, let's try Swift existential type calling method. Yeah, medium probably won't let me in. Okay, everybody's trying to be helpful. I appreciate that. Casting. Could I cast it? Let's see. Okay, this is any stage, but how about here? Type any stage cannot conform to identifiable. So that seems to be saying I can't make an array of stage. I don't get it. I really don't get it. Can I do something on here? The sources dot. Can I convert it into something that would be usable? That's combined stuff. Okay, so I think what we're trying to do is SwiftUI, we're trying to iterate over an existential type. Maybe I can say it that way. These look a little... Okay, that may be a clue. A lot of stuff I've seen before. Okay, let's Iterating through a set. Oh, could I do something like that? If I said id.self. Id backslash dot id. Let's try that. Okay, that's promising. Any stage cannot conform to stage. I don't know why. It sure seems like it should. What if I do that? I mean, it's in any stage. Let's see the type of this. Oh, come on. You're supposed to do... Oh, let's build. Doesn't like that cast. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Is that no longer applying? What's your problem? Okay, that is return from initializer without storing. I don't know if I can do this, but self.thus sources equals sources. Type any stage. Now are you happy? Do you know your type? Let stage be stage. Okay. So any stage cannot conform to stage. Why? Type any cannot conform to. Maybe. Okay, let's try self. We know they're different. Yeah, they got different IDs. Type any stage cannot conform to hashable. Okay. But when I said ID, it was happy. So it knows they have IDs. I don't think this is the problem, but just to rule it out. Any stage cannot conform to stage. Oh, that one said identifiable. Yeah. That seems like the heart of what we got going on here. Any view model identified. Oh. You can work around this with a wrapper type. Golly. Any view model identifiable. Well, no, that's just weird. Any view model. Okay, so make it identifiable. Provide this. Okay, let's save that one just in case. I'll drag it over here. Okay. So any type that conforms to a given protocol. Okay. To it by its protocol name. Alternative syntax is any protocol. Okay. Okay. So 13.3. I mean, we are definitely using that. I shouldn't say that. I should check it. Well, I can just check the version. 14.2. Okay. And no excuse about Swift language version. Make sure that's interesting. Wouldn't be a dependency. Okay. Where is that? It's on these. Signing build settings, I would think. Yeah. Swift 5. Okay, you could be more specific, but okay. Alrighty. Implicitly opened. Unfortunately, I don't want to give it 5 minutes. Okay, we understand generic. We understand opaque, more or less. I can mix them. Existential. Just mentioned once. Yeah, that's... I think this is a little old. Protocols or types. Okay. Yeah, I don't mind the wrapper. So looser contract. Aims only to suffice protocol requirements. Yes, it doesn't have to deliver type info. Okay. Yeah, I appreciate the article. Is there... Well, let's at least do that. Help his day a little. Okay, binding is not where we are. I think this is a little too easy for us. Now, I don't know why they weren't happy even knowing it's identifiable. Conform to identifiable, yes. Yeah, that's what I was hoping to do. But apparently some identifiable is not an identifiable. Okay, this is that trampoline thing. The existential box is open, so trampolining off the protocol, we get access to the real type. Stuffable. Stuffer, stuffable. Extension stuffable. Trampoline. With stuff self. Okay, we create a stuffer. We want to call with stuff valuable value. Okay. Any protocol cannot conform to protocol. Okay, so we're extending the protocol. Right, that's... Okay, I guess that was just references. But maybe one of these can help me. I think that's the one we just looked at. A limitation, implicitly open existentials. Gotta shift into your language designer mode with this one. Gotta look for T-rooted associated types and non-covariant positions and result types. No way to represent the type erased value. Why? Now, I think there's something going on here. Can I make sense of it? Okay, we can't call with stuff. So what I'm trying to do is provide an extension on the protocol. Now let's look at our pipeline. Sorry, our stages protocol. Is a UUID identifiable? Kind of doubt it. No. Okay. And what somebody did was say where ID equals UUID, and then that pushes the work onto the conformant type. And we're saving this one too. Okay, that was a search page, so let's take that out. Boy, that's really... Okay, interesting. Okay, this is the same question we're after, I think. And this is probably before this any keyword got in there 7 years ago. I don't know. Oh, edited. Okay. We got a protocol. We got a struct that implements it. That's us. Array of P equals S. I think now it would require us to put any P in there. Array P does not conform to protocol P. Yes. We had first to type S. I really don't care about statics. Extension array where element equals P. Okay, we got a protocol. We got a implementing struct function. Well, that seems like that's what we're saying. Okay, I think this is another trampoline solution. This looks worth a read. I'm not sure it answers the problem I'm having. Okay, so type erasure, yes. Not to be confused, right? Good. Thank you, yes. Okay, and generics get in the way. Yeah, it's still there, but it's changed. All right. Well, Yeah, this is the WW session. That's got any. Okay. Provider animals any. $0. Oh, okay. It is an error. All right. A constraint method. So eat cannot be used on value of type any animal. Yeah, that's the kind of thing we're seeing. All right. Get food matches the input. Unless you unbox it by passing it to a generic method that receives a non-erased value. Okay, I think this is maybe useful to us too. Okay. I'll put it back here. That looks like the same article. No, any is definitely not a drop-in for some. Okay. I appreciate this picture. Okay. Is this? Okay. That part should be okay. This part confuses me. I guess we're saying it's going to be some vehicle, and it is some vehicle. Okay. All right. Cannot use the equals operator. Create. Some is okay with it, any is not. Okay. I think we saw that. Nope. It's more about capital Any. This is opaque types, and yes, we can't get to it. Nope, that's not relevant. Okay, I think we're getting there. Okay. Yeah, that's the trampoline thing. form. Yes, that's the same. Right. Okay. Well, woof. I saw two things that made me think I could get by on this. One was that this example with the generics, which is similar to what the WWDC video was, which I did watch 2 or 3 times. Some of it stuck. Okay, so I think what they're saying is any animal is type erased. So to put a mix of types potentially in an array, we are basically type erasing them, which means they only are known to conform to the protocol, and they're doing this box thing, so the actual type is hidden in there. I would have thought that would conform to the protocol of the box, but it doesn't. The insides of the box conform to the protocol. So in effect, they're sort of forcing this. I think what they're doing is forcing this type back down in a way that forces it to take it out of the box. The generic type needs to know the real underlying type. And so we're not, you would think we're passing in a some animal, but this is actually just an animal. So I'll try a variation on this first. Is that this one? Yes. Okay. Then if not, we'll try the trampoline idea. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. If this works, I'm happy. And then this, well, it looked like good discussion, I guess. I'll put that on my reading list. Okay. And this is talking about the same problem, the protocol not conforming to itself. Yeah. Been there for a while. Hopefully these new discussions are more current. Let's see, when's this? 2018? Maybe. All right. Let's take a break, like 3 or 4 minutes, and we'll come back, see if we can make one of these two approaches work in our code, and hope for the best. See you in about 3 or 4 minutes. Hi, and welcome back. All right, so we're going to try and make this example work in our SwiftUI code. Let's take a read of it again. So the situation is, okay, we've got any animal. Oh no, we want this one. We're using any animal, and to me that corresponds to our any stage type thing. And we want to say animals.forEach. Okay, and then we'd like to just say get the food and then $0 eat it. But eat can't be used on a value of type any animal, okay, because this array coming in is any animal. Okay, so what do they do? All right, so they are going to still do a for each. They're going to call this method, which takes the any animal, and it takes the provider, and then they're going to do the exact same call as the inside of the loop, with $0 being animal. All right, but it's funneled through this generic type. So my understanding then is that the sum animal is what gets passed in here, because each of these, isn't any animal, gets passed in here, and then through whatever mechanism they use to pull the type back from the box, the generic here forces it back to the concrete single type without the any on it. Okay, so for our case, we're trying to iterate over animals. Well, we're trying to iterate over stages. And I guess we're going to try and We're going to run it through some. I wonder if we could just map it through. Right? Okay, let's go back here. All right, so now this is in pipeline selectors. Okay, the problem, okay, I think we have the same problem if it's sources. So the sources is just redundant. Pipeline. The sources. Did I initialize it? Yes. Okay, that's kind of back where we were. So now I want to take sources. Let's see. So there we're migrating through them. Okay. I'm going to say what? Generically, it's a stage. Well, let's call it, let's do a function as stage. And S is of type stage. I'm just kind of imitating this. Stage, S is of type stage. And then the argument is S. I agree, this feels redundant. Okay. Stage takes T of type. Okay, that's our S of stage. Then we declare stage of type S. And then in our case, we want to return S. I think it looks a little too simple, doesn't it? Like, that's okay. Well, I guess I'm glad it. Any source cannot conform to stage. As stage. Okay. Let's print it, and then we'll just return it. I think he's not compiling, right? So it's any source cannot conform to stage. Oh, that's a little different. Any source cannot conform to stage. Okay, what's the problem? Any source cannot conform to source. I wish he'd be more specific. All right, so what happens here? Feed all animals for each. I think $0 here is of type any animal. Any source cannot conform to stage. Any stage cannot conform to stage. Why are you in any stage? Oh. That is not what we want. Do I have to call a method on it? Use of protocol as a type must be written any stage. Ugh. Use of protocol as a type must be... Does that help? I don't see how. No. Oh. They don't return it. They just use it. And what I want to do with it is pass it to icon, which takes observable stage. Oh. What's observable stage? What? Oh, it's generic over that. So in this example, they can call a stage method, but I wonder if they could get the animal itself back as an animal. I'm thinking maybe this seems to indicate it won't. That's probably not helping. I don't think that's going to help us. I think the problem is not the way we're doing it here. We are not. Okay, I'm going to give source a method. Stage. Source is going to get a method that says a stage yields a stage. Okay. And then I'm going to try extending this on the protocol. Oh, darn it. How do I get to... What does icon need to do its job? Stage. It needs stage type, name, icon, and that's it, and is active. I don't know if I can make this an extension somewhere. What if I put that in here? I don't think I'm getting it. I'm surprised icon works. Maybe that's the problem, is it doesn't. Okay. Because I'm not getting a stage. I could say any stage. What if I... If we just pass stage, what's the complaint? Probably, yeah, icon's not happy with it. Any source cannot conform to stage. All right, now what if an icon... What if I promise this? Var body of some view. Okay. Really, constraint to non-protocol, non-class type. So it says it doesn't like this any better, I'm guessing. Declares an opaque return type. Okay, well, that's fine. Let's fix that. Type observable conforms to non-protocol, non-class type. Okay. So any stage. I'm just buried back in here. What's this thing doing again? Can I somehow trigger it? I'm going to have to do it on my side of things. Okay, what does icon need again? It needs to know the stage type, the name, the icon name. And is active. Which doesn't seem like that thing's business the more I look at it. Okay. Stage name, icon name, and type. Let's see, is anybody who's got that? It's all up at stage. I don't want to break everything. Protocols of type must be written any stage. Yeah. So that won't help anything. Well, I don't know if I can get through the icon stuff. I mean, if people gave me something that had stage type name, I mean, basically the contents of stage, I'm like, why can't I just access that? Okay, let's try an icon 2 again. I don't think I need the stage itself. We'll start without it. Var body of some view. Text of who. Okay. Now, this thing, let's get the stuff. Okay, we need stage type. Name is a string, icon name. And it's active. Okay, and that's the same stuff that stage is holding, right? Let's put it in the same order. Active name, icon name, stage type. Okay, and let's pull those fields out and see if we can get them that way. Pipeline, no, pipeline selectors. So for each source stage, we're going to do an icon 2. And we need a constraint and an index. It's all kinds of stuff. What did I call these things? I thought it was selection constraint. Select one. And index. Where's that being put? We looked once. Index down here. Okay. All right. I think we got all the stuff icon 2 needs. Now let's make sure. Okay, he should be complaining. Yeah. So is active is stage dot is active. Stage dot name. See, I can use it as a type, but I can't pass it along as an any type, apparently. And I thought icon would grab it that way. That's the worst part. Icon name and stage type. Get rid of stage. His active name. Okay, we're pulling all the fields out. I don't get it. Okay, file input stage does not conform to source. What's missing? I don't want to add stubs. Stage. I don't believe that's correct. Right. Okay, now I have icon 2, which just does foo. Let's just put the button name on there. Okay. And so my sources should look like that now. Okay, I don't know how much we're I don't think I'm treating it as a testable thing. It's just the input file, input foo, manual input foo. I don't know who says foo anymore. Find foo. Right. What happened? File input, manual input. Sorry, that should be text. Oh, I did that to myself. Okay. Well. From the icon point of view, all right, I don't need these anymore in theory. Oh, that's a long way to find out. Okay. So these are still any stages here, but because I use them with a dot and fetch something, then it digs into its box and comes up with the right thing. I hate passing around a bunch of arguments like this. We may be able to mitigate that. I'm imagining some sort of structure that this stage holds that has all that stuff in it. It's the stuff the icon needs. Now, the individual stages are going to need more, but let's see if we can. All right, now let's, let's run it once. We should just see the names. Yep, that's the input section. They're not buttons or anything yet, but we can adapt the rest of icon. Let's include that. Okay, so I think we don't have the stage, but we don't use it because we're always using the things on it. Okay, so we won't have an init. This is there to force index to 0. That seems like a kind of minimal thing. All right, the body looks like this. Oh, where's the... Okay, so I think that's here to here. We're going to take each of these, take stage off now because we don't need it, because we've passed all those things in. This one's tricky. Can't straight selection equals index is active. Oh. Okay, we're going to have to pass the binding in. And I'm going to pass, okay, this is going to be binding of bool. Does that break those? Oh, this came in free. Is it? Oh. I think this is kind of ugly. But, oh, cannot call function. Cannot call value of non-function type. Is it? That's not going to do it, is it? I got to make sure I'm doing this thing right. Golly. The caller's going to have to pass it as a $sign. I think that. Okay, binding. Well, they use at binding. Okay. Something to binding of optional to. Yeah, okay. I don't want an optional case. I mean, I could say that. Maybe that would be nicer. Is active a bool, then I don't need all those wrapped values, I don't think. It's not helping me on the caller side, but we'll get there. Okay. Well, that solves something. Now the caller has to pass the binding. What is stage? Stage is observed object. Stage is nothing. Cannot convert bool to expected binding. Okay, so if I do this, does that help? Grr. Cannot find $stage in scope. Huh. Okay. I think, yeah, they're just passing. I mean, they got the state here. And I can do the dollar with it. Let's see, Swift, pass, binding. Object in array. Let's see what we can get. Person in scope, okay. And that's published. Dollar group dot people. It doesn't seem right to me. Oh, dollar person there too, huh? And then on this. Source setter is inaccessible. Because I'm not trying to change the sources. I don't know if I do this. Inferred projection, any source is not a property wrapper. Cannot bind bool to binding a bool. I don't really need to edit the sources. That's the problem. Cannot assign sources. If I make it accessible, is that... Did I say build? Okay, let's run. If it works, it's supposed to be, okay, they look right. Now if I select this one, the toggle's not working. Golly. Oh, I can't print while it's doing it. Well, I can do that in here. Print, try to toggle. Oh, didn't even get there. Huh. Oh, it has a constraint, so that one wouldn't happen. Well, interestingly, All right, let's get a little more information. This is the source one. It doesn't even need that is active. I'm do this one again. So selection did not update. What's constraint? It's treated as optional. It's not bound. A constraint should have. All right, let's look at constraint. I think maybe he should be an observable object. If he changes, we want to see it. Set selected values, ref value equals false. I think he is observable should be observable object. And this field should trigger changes. Changing this value should notify people that things are different and they should go look at them. Okay. Now that changes the pipeline. No, it changes the icon. Let's see, pipeline selectors has these constraints. Those should be marked. Okay, source constraint equals. These should be observed objects. Okay, now icon, where is that settings changed? Well, that should certainly be true. Okay. Who creates that constraint? I mean, it must be pipeline selectors, right? Observed. Where are those coming from? They're being passed in from content view. Right, it's created there. I mean, I guess it owns it. Okay. I'm not so wild about passing that stage in. Okay, I'm okay with that one. Is active toggle. Okay, I think I'm consistent again. I think we're going to declare today spike day. Try to toggle. What has happened? He said constraint.selection equals index. Let's break on the constraint. On the setter. Huh. We're not getting the index numbers right. That's an issue in here. Pipeline ID stage, index 0. Ugh. This thing is such a pain. You can run counters, but you can't run a count from 0 to the number of sources. You can iterate over the list of sources, but they don't give you the counts. There may be some way to do that. For each with count. Get index. Yeah, that one. Okay, right. Right. Enumerated. Can you do that though? ID/.offset. Element. .1. That's kind of what I would use, but okay. Well, let's try. It is an array, so hopefully we can just say enumerated. .1 is the second part of the pair, so this is stage. Is it n? Index element. For each requires binding of any conform to hashable. Well, why did they say it worked? And implement hasher. Okay. I think this person just kind of. Oh, I could do array. It requires binding of any source.element. Binding of that is not going to conform to hashable. Use.element. I don't think we're on a track here. I just don't think people are these assumptions that you're going to have a static array is exactly wrong. Should not use a range that changes at runtime. Yeah. Use array index element. That's kind of the generic one. Okay. Requires that binding of any source element. What if I took this off? Binding a bool. Well, these don't care. Can I just do this? Binding of is active. No. No, any source does not conform to a hashable. Can use zip. A dedicated view. For each is not the same as for loop. Yes, that's true. It's important that the id does not change. For each items, item in. Ugh. All right, this. Avoid using enumerated. Okay, array.indices. None. Well, I don't. Yeah, the non-identifiable object is not there. Closures. /.offset. Array indices are not, yeah, not stable. Right. Ugh. In a loop, you can just do enumerated, and you get that list of two things. You get the value in the element, the index in the element. But mention implement hashable if using a custom object array. Add the properties that could update. Ugh. Range. Okay, a lot of answers, not a lot of right answers. For each with, I don't know, index. Maybe I should be looking at this. All right, for each self.posts. Tried using indexes, yeah. Yeah. No. Okay, let's see the variations of for each. It seems like to me this is common enough that they should just provide one. I don't know what rotors are. Okay. Collection from data. That sounds like us. Create an instance on the underlying works when it conforms to random access, which ours does as an array. ID is something content conforms to view, and data element is identifiable. Those all hold for us. Identifies and creates views across based on the identity. ID conforms to hashable. Ours may or may not. Data key path provided key path. Okay. Data is there in access. ID is content conforms to view. Data element and ID. I guess identifiable is hashable. I think we looked at that, or UUID. Last one, binding key path content. This is with bindings. Okay, we tried doing one of those. Rotor content, whatever. Table of row, collection of table rows. Range event. Data, content. Existing content. No. Okay, let's try our search again. For each over array with index. Hacking this one. I think he's going to tell me nothing. What's this last one? I think this is for each, not capital for each. Oh, for each function. No, this is the non-SwiftUI version. Oh, here we go. For each with collections. Names dot for each? No. Is this Swift? Oh, collections in Swift, yeah. Nope. This is also plain collections. But you can see ship enumerated. Yeah, he's counting. It's all good, but it's not going to help us. For each array, zip your indices with your thing. It's not going to be hashable. Your array enumerated. Compared to arrays. Yeah. Yeah, please. Okay. I hate the speculations. Like, SwiftUI handbook. Okay, we'll take that. So for each string array, no. All right, that's kind of what we're doing. Identifiable items. You want to display the position, right? Enumerated. Reversed, no. What? So reversed. That does not work. Yeah. Indices. Is that really going to work? Could you bake the index in? I guess. I don't know. Well, let's try this thing. Indices. Okay, so this goes back to pipeline.sources, drop the enumerated dot indices. In do I have to do pipeline.sources to buy? Okay, we're just trying to get through first. Index, yep. Binding. No exact matches in call to initializer. I don't even need it. Pipeline sources index. Okay, we're going to take that binding out. Okay, icon. Take this out for the moment. Because I kind of think this... Maybe there's a way to write a constraint that will let us toggle. Okay. Missing names. Name, icon name, stage type, index. Name, icon name, stage type, index. What's constraint? Icon 2, constraint should come before index. All right, let's do a rebuild. Missing arguments. Icon 2. Oh, extra parend. Non-constant range. I don't know if that's true. I'm not liking the warning. Okay, I'm taking this off. Oh. Okay, it has the virtue of working. Let me see. Did we check in that little correction we made today? Yes. Okay, everything else has been speculation or something. Indices is not suitable if it's going to get a warning there, because I think these warnings, they're telling you things they're not going to support later, so you're just buying trouble. Okay. Now this works fine for these two that are the inputs and the sinks, the sources and sinks, but it's not going to work for that. Okay. So, well, one way to handle it would be figure out if we can make this work for a mini selector. I don't even think mini selector is quite right. All right. Well, that may be what we try tomorrow. I'm trying to think what's non-obvious about this. I don't think there's much. I mean, what we're doing was we said, and since we can't get to the box directly, we'll just pull the fields out of the box and pass those into this. Now the problem is going to come. This is the simple one. This is the stack on the left, but we also have the body. Where's that defined? Here's the body. Whole body. I should probably make that into a maybe stack tune similarity pipeline body. These should probably be separate classes rather than plain old functions, but it's got access to all these same stages. And this one, I do feel like this is where I feel like if you knew the types of these things, but we can't get the types, that's the problem. Yeah, because if it's in any stage, which it's going to be by default, see, the whole thing is I'm trying to find a way to drive this from the list of stuff rather than drive it from the individual ones. Because really, in the long range, I'd like to be able to put two filters in and run one then the other and stuff like that. So I'm going to have this thing of type any stage, maybe even any source or any sink or any transform, but I got to know which one it is. So I need to say, like, is your type file input? Yeah, file input. If you are, you should get a file input view. That's fine. Okay, so I think my strategy for tomorrow, I don't know. Maybe the strategy for tomorrow ought to be take content view. Sorry, take this whole pipeline thing, pipeline body, and see if we can make that work off an array. If we can, then I'm investing in the rest of it. I'll bring back that stuff, but I'm going to revert this all for now. All right, and that's the way you go. As they say, sometimes you get the bear and sometimes the bear gets you. Discard these changes. Okay. All right. And then so tomorrow we'll pick up attempting to make pipeline body drive from an array. We found we sort of can with this, with the view on the left, but this one's more specific to each class, so it's going to be harder. All right. If that works, we'll go ahead and try and drive this thing over to that style. If it doesn't work, well, we'll work on some cleanup instead. All right. Well, thanks for joining me today. Tomorrow, Tuesday, 1 to 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 to 8:30 p.m. UTC, and we'll pick up here and try again. All right, thanks for joining. Bye-bye.